Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining the Truth About Happiness preview class today with Rebecca Norrington. So we know Rebecca as our chair aerobic instructor, but many of you don't know. She is also a happiness coach. So today she's going to share her experience about coaching people getting into the happiness state. But first of all, let me share how I met Rebecca. And I was in her class on and off for about 2 years. So Rebecca, I remember seeing your class on the Arcadia Community Center catalog one day. It says the truth about happiness. And I was thinking I should take this class. But then I was thinking, what would people think if I took this class and ran into my friends at the Arcadia Community Center? So I passed the first time. I didn't enroll in your class. But second time I saw it, I thought must be something going on there. So I enrolled. But to my surprise, it's not really about happiness class. It's actually finding the cause of for my unhappiness. So for the next 2 years I was with you, it really helped me to identify the source of the unhappiness and to let everyone know. During the first class, she would tell you the solution to all your problems. So, but I won't give it away. I'll let Rebecca share that. She gave us a tool. She said, open this envelope and you will find the source of all your problems. So that's how, you're not giving that away, are you? The first class? No, okay. So it was very interesting for me. It was a journey because every class we sort of talk about our issues for that week. And it was more like a discussion class. And she would point out our thinking process and our how to reverse, not even reverse, but think out of the box. So she gave me a lot of homework at that time, including drive a different route from work to home, or going back and forth, because for about 30 years I drive the same route. I like routines, and Rebecca knows that. I even told her when I make coffee, I make a certain way every day, the same. I like to do things the same way every day. And so she kind of challenged me to try new things, go to new places, and take a different way. So I think that really stimulated my programmer's thinking. So I really appreciate Rebecca in that aspect. But it wasn't that easy because, internally you will fight. You will think, it has worked for me for 50 some years. Why should I change? But once you realize what she is trying to help you, you will see her point of view. So now I give you to Rebecca.
Well, thank you for that, Susan. I really appreciate, Susan was one of my favorite students because she always challenged me. Well, let's say her ego always challenged my ego. So we had a lot of back and forth. And with those questions, so I welcome all questions. Let's just talk about the class. So number one, thank you for being here. Thank you for being interested in the class. And the class is the truth about happiness. And just like Susan said, this happiness isn't about what we think, but I'm going to ask each and every one of you, would you like to be happier? And when I say that, when I ask that, I usually get everybody raise their hand. Oh, yes, of course. Who wouldn't want to be happier? But the issue, the challenge comes from how, and what is that anyway? How do you be? So what? You have more goals, you achieve more things. No, this happiness that I'm talking about is internally, an internal foundation. So let me give you my definition of happiness first. My definition, my personal definition, and everybody's different. I say we are as different as our fingerprints. So everybody is different, and accepting that is a real challenge. Tracks from your happiness is not accepting. But let me, of course, I got off a little bit. Let me get back to my definition of happiness. My definition is the ability to be at peace, the ability to be at peace regardless of what happens and regardless of what doesn't happen. So this happiness doesn't come from something happening. This happiness doesn't come from achieving or getting to, this happiness is a journey. This happiness is not a destination. That's what I want to say. Happiness is not a destination. It is a journey. It is about your life's journey. And my favorite quote, it's not my quote, but my favorite quote is, if I can remember it, is, you can't have a happy ending to an unhappy journey. So when I say it's about the journey, it's about the day-to-day living, day-to-day choices. And I'm going to ask you, how important is happiness to you? Because that is going to determine, like Susan said, that is going to determine how you go into the class. So from a scale of 1 to 10, in fact, if you'd like to write this down, write these down on a scale from 1 to 10, how important is happiness to you? And only you can answer that. Sometimes I get 10s, sometimes I get 9, sometimes I get 8. And I'm going to let you know that for me, it's 10. It's always 10. And when I say an internal peace, I'm talking about, so let me give you an example. This just happened the other day. I'm driving, I'm in California now, and the people in California drive a lot differently than the people where I am in Oregon. In Oregon, I don't hear any horns honking, and I usually don't get any people getting mad and flipping me off. But so in California, I was driving. Actually, I was at the, don't tell anybody, I was at an In-N-Out. I know we don't have In-N-Out. I was at an In-N-Out. And this woman was blocking my way. I couldn't leave. I just got my 2 hamburgers and I couldn't leave. And so I just tapped on the horn and I said, excuse me, as nice as I could, trust me, excuse me. And she looked at me and she rolled her window down, and what the is wrong with you? She flipped me off. So what do? There's a choice there. There's a choice between either I could get angry back, flip her off, or what I did was hand prayer. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to disturb you. And that really, it's so interesting because when you're kind to people, when you're nice to people, especially if they're angry, it makes them angrier. I know I'm getting off in a tangent, but when I say it's a foundation, it is a way. Happiness is a practice, like any other skill, a skill writing, a skill athlete, musician, doctor. It is a practice. Even someone doing your hair, it is a practice. Gardening, it's a practice. So the more you practice, the easier it becomes when you are faced with life's up and down challenges, that you can react in a way that is conscious, calm, and peaceful. And when I say happy, it is interchangeable with internal peace, a sense of contentment, a vibration and energy of satisfaction. One of the things about this happiness, one of the things about happiness is thinking that, okay, I want more in my life. I want more. In fact, I just read this. It's a magazine. I know it's upside down because he's hanging upside down. Oh, look at, we're wearing yellow. That wasn't planned. Justin Bieber. Now, we all know Justin Bieber. We all know his history. And this kid was famous at 15. And he's talking about his struggle. I'm just going to read just this part of it. It says, you wake up one day. He said, you wake up one day and you're unhappy. You have all this success in the world. I had everything, but you're just like, and that everybody use that word like, but you're just like, well, what is it still worth? I'm still feeling empty. I'm still in pain. I'm sad. I still have all these unresolved issues. Well, that's because happiness or peace or contentment, all interchangeable words, wasn't a priority. And when you commit to making happiness a priority, then it doesn't matter what happens, from health to money to finances to family issues to work issues, a pandemic. One of the reasons why, when I say this lockdown, the pandemic, one of the reasons why people were so in a state is because, number one, they didn't have any control. Number two, there's uncertainty. I don't know what's going to happen, the struggle with uncertainty. So the practice, one of the practices is, if you want to be happier, is to be okay with uncertainty. Be okay with not knowing about tomorrow or about the future. I have another question for you. So what do you think are the most problematic issues in the world today? I mean, we all can come up with at least 5. Is it poverty? Is it disease? Is it the pandemic? Is it COVID? Is it overpopulation? Is it religion? Is it wars? What is it? What is it? I'll wait. Answer: happiness. Unhappy people are, when I say unhappy people, you can feel the difference, the anger, the impatience, the frustration, all of that. But when I talk about happiness, when I say it's a serious issue, it's about a way of life. It is a practice. Does anybody, and I wouldn't mind looking at people when I'm talking, if you want to open up the screen, I guess I can do that. I don't know how to do that. Let me see. Video. I just want to see everybody when I'm talking, if that's possible. Let's see more. Oh, I don't know how to do that. Okay. Anyway, let me just carry on. One of the things that I wanted to share is there was a study done on the most common regrets of the dying. The most common regrets of the dying. And this was a study done by a hospice nurse. Her name is Bronnie Ware. No, Bronnie Ware, BRONNIEWARE, Bronnie Ware. And she did a study. She did a study with her patients. Now, these people were going to die. They're hospice patients. They're going to die within weeks, days, months. They know they're going to die. And she asked them this question: what are your 5 most common regrets? 5 most common regrets of people that are dying. And you can look this up on Google if you like. But one of the 5 biggest regrets that these people had that are dying is they wish they would have been happier. They would see, I wish I had let myself, I'm quoting now, I wish I had let myself be happier. So if you ask me, it's number 1, happiness. And the study of the practice of happiness is number 1. Of course, I'm not alone in this, but the practice is really what is getting a little, the practice is what is hard, like Susan was saying. So I'm going to ask you again, how important is happiness to you? And what is your definition of happiness? Is your definition of happiness, and what is your definition of success? And who is subtracting from your happiness today? Who or what is subtracting from your happiness today? And are you as happy when faced with life's inevitable challenges? You know what I'm talking about, the challenges where life goes here, life goes there, up, down, up, down. And I would like to say too, if you have any questions for me, if Susan and or Amanda can work that out or give me questions in the chat. I would love to have questions from anyone listening to this. So this is other questions that I have. So you either answer yes or no. Can other people hurt your feelings? Yes or no. Can other people offend you? Yes or no. Can other people disappoint you? Do you blame other people for how you feel? Do you blame your circumstances for how you feel? And if you answered yes to any of those questions, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that you could be happier. You could be happier. And again, let me say this when I talk about the happiness, I'm talking about being able to be at peace regardless of what happens in your life. And everybody isn't up to the practice. Everybody isn't up to looking in the mirror and finding those answers. When I say happiness is a practice skill, it's just like any other skill. The more you practice, the better the results. And the first part of the practice starts with eliminating the behaviors that actually are subtracting from your happiness on a daily basis. So the first part is eliminating the behaviors. Now, what are behaviors, Rebecca? How many behaviors of some behaviors that subtract from happiness? I'm just going to read off a few. How about this? Blaming anyone or circumstances for the way you feel. Comparing yourself to anyone else. Noticing, this is a big one. This is a big one. This is so prevalent. Noticing what someone else is doing and judging what someone else is doing and thinking that you know best for someone else. That your own happiness. So the practice is staying out of everybody's business. Stay out of their business unless they ask. Stay out of their business. If you're serious and you're committed to wanting to be happier. When I was younger, I probably could have started at the beginning, but when I was younger, when I was in my mid-teens, 15, 16, you know, when you make a wish, when having a birthday and you make a wish and you blow out your candles, or you throw a coin into a pond and you make a wish. I always wished for the same two things. I wished to live to my potential, and then I wanted to be happy. And so when you ask for that, I want to be happy, you will get the answers. You will get answers. But I thought, like most of us, that, okay, if I marry the right guy, if I have the right title, if I travel, if I have the money, all of that, that's going to make me happy, right? Married a great guy, traveled a lot. None of it. Well, I would be happy for a little bit. I would be, it's like eating junk food. You're happy for a moment, and then after that, it's gone. So I was looking for a lasting happiness. And that's why, I just, when I say looking, it was years and years and years. Why isn't this making me happy? I achieved this. Why am I not happy? Same thing with Justin Bieber. Why am I not happy? There's countless examples, from the Michael Jacksons to the Anthony Bourdains, to there's so many people that have everything, but then they're unhappy. So this is when I start, it starts at the beginning. It starts right here with self. How do I eliminate? What are the behaviors that I eliminate so that I can add to my happiness? And it is a practice. The other thing that subtracts from happiness are living in the past, living in the future. How many of you get together with people and all you talk about is yesterday and yesterday's bad news? That's subtracting from your happiness right now. The other things that subtract are taking anything personally. Oh, that's a tough one. When that lady flipped me off at the In-N-Out parking lot, it wasn't personal. Anyone getting angry at you, it's never, ever personal. Even if they're calling your name, it's not personal. This is an impersonal universe. And I use the term universe. Some people interchange it with God, higher power, spirit, energy source. I use the term universe. I can interchange it with any word, but that feeling of peace. Okay, let's do an exercise together. How about this? Close your eyes and just imagine that you are standing in a boat in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. Standing in a boat in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, and all of a sudden, the waves start coming. Tsunamis, typhoons, hurricanes, tornadoes. Now you're rocking. That's life. This is life. Life is rarely just nice and peaceful. There's always something going on in life. And so you're standing in that boat, and life is tossing you back and forth, up and down, angry, sad, joyful, not, all the emotions. But you're still at peace, regardless of how much the outside, the external, or what the external is doing, because you're rooted in peace. You're rooted in a universal truth that you are peace. What's at the bottom of the ocean? Just peace, not even light. So that's really who you are. Under all of this, under all of the programming, and let me get to the programming really quick, because the only reason why we're suffering is the programming about happiness and what we think is going to make us happy, and it doesn't, or it makes us happy for a little bit and then it's gone. And the programming is that something outside of self is going to make you happy. Something outside of your internal consciousness, energy, is going to make you happy. It's going to make you happy. It's going to make you sad. So this foundation is very, very important for handling, responding to anything that happens in life. Are there any questions? I would love if there's any questions from anyone. Let me know. I'll give a short time.
Rebecca, while we are waiting for the questions, I just want to share the awareness part was very important to me. As you laid it out, that the foundation of happiness, and as we know how to achieve that, I am aware how I can change myself, but like I told you, I choose the ones I wanted to do. And I choose, sometimes I don't want to do. I know if I do this thing, I can become happier, but I chose not to do it because that would, be different, make me a little different. So you can pick and choose what you would like to do, but the awareness part was very important to me.
Thank you for that, Susan. And see that, so let me touch on that a little bit, because that's a really important part. And I don't know everything. So I really appreciate the feedback. That's why I would like questions too, because I really get juiced up when I have questions. So there are two ways to live: consciously and unconsciously. The unconscious is the unconscious. Someone cuts you off on the freeway and you react. The unconscious is someone says something to you and you react. There's a difference between conscious and unconscious. And the conscious reaction is when something is said or something is done there is a pause. And like Susan was saying, there is a awareness of what am I going to say? Why am I going to say it? What is going to happen after I say it? In other words, what am I creating? It's going to be very easy to react. It's easy to react. And another thing that Susan is saying, which is really important, thinking that you have control over anything that happens outside of self is just not true. You know that you don't have control over a person, their response, their reacting. You only have control over self. Picking and choosing, like Susan said, it's going to make her happier, but she chooses not to, is a conscious choice, which is acceptable. No, listen, I'm not expecting anybody to do the work the practice the way I practice. Each practice, it is an individual game. You and the universe or God are a team. So it's an individual practice. And the choosing, Susan, I do the same thing. I said something to someone the other day, and I already knew that now that's not peaceful. It's drama. I'm choosing drama, but I knew it and I did it, and that's okay. So it's really getting to a point where you start accepting yourself. Acceptance is big, accepting of self and acceptance of others. I hope I hit on that point a little bit, but the awareness, and it is a practice to, let me give you another example, really quick example of when my mother was alive. She was really into watching the news, always watch the news, love the news. And I don't watch the news. It's not good news. I don't watch the news, but she really wanted me to watch the news. And so at a certain time I said, she says, did you watch the news? I said, no, I didn't. She said, why didn't you? And then we're back and forth and back and forth. And then there was a time where I said, you know what? I can change this. I can do something different. Did you watch the news? Yes. Instant peace. Now, don't tell anybody, but I didn't watch the news, but I told her that I did. So all of these different strategies or different practices or different behaviors brings you peace and brings whoever else is around you peace. Any other questions?
Yes, Rebecca, this is Amanda. Since today is the preview of the class, it's gonna be an 8-week program, right?
Yes.
So can you tell us more about what we are expecting when they enroll this program, like each week, why it's an 8-week program?
Okay, thank you for that. The 8-week program starts off with the biggest reasons, starts off with sharing the biggest reasons why we are unhappy. And then how to dissect behavior and how to come up with solutions for more happiness. So really what it all is what's the problem? Why are you unhappy? What's the solution to experience more happiness? And like Susan was saying earlier, it is a discussion with what is your challenge now? What are you challenged by? And each individual has different challenges. And so we come up with a solution to whatever your challenge is. And the other thing with the class, not only talking about the behaviors that subtract from happiness, common behaviors, thinking that there's something that you should do. How many of you out there use this word should? Should. Well, the should is a very heavy word. And so what I use when I share also, the class is really about a shift in perspective, a shift in a way of looking and thinking about life, being more conscious, being more aware, practicing awareness. What behaviors add to happiness? Well, some of the behaviors are acceptance, letting go of judgment about yourself and others. So what it is it's just teaching. It's like, say I had a class about painting. Well, I teach you how to paint. The class is really how to experience more happiness along the journey in the 8 weeks. Any other questions?
Anybody has any question? I think that we do. I think especially for like we are Asian, we are Chinese, we were brought up to, you know, to reach a very high bar. And I think our family, our parents, sometimes they don't know, they just make us unhappy. And we don't know how to let it go, let it out, and how to learn to be happier. And when we are raising our own kids, you know, we typically repeating the same mistakes. You know, I believe, you know, everybody has a kid in the group. They will agree with what I'm saying right now. And especially we bring our kids, or we have our kids here in the States. It's totally different with the culture shock and everything. So we have a lot of things to learn, and we just don't know where to learn and how to learn it.
Wow. Well, you came to the right place. You came for Happy 50 Plus. You came to the right place. And you know, you're absolutely, there is a, because when I was living in Arcadia there, Susan will tell you the last few classes is all Chinese. And so there, I definitely understand that the culture, and I understand it is a very heavy culture with rules to follow. And the thing about that is you cannot change your parents. They are going to, you cannot change, but you can change, and you can find different ways and different practices and different perspectives to accept them. And then now we have our children. And so when you change, listen, this is, I say, listen, this is one of the reasons why I got into this in the first place. Believe it or not, when I was younger, I was a raving B word, raving. And I had a son who was 12 and 13 years old, and 12 or 13. And he came home and he had signed his name. Or I got a note from the school that he signed his name on his report card because he got a D. And he didn't tell me because he signed his own name. Well, of course we found out about it. But the reason why he signed his own name is because he didn't want to tell me. He knew my reaction. I would react, I would be angry. So it's these, especially with parents, it's so important to raise your children in a way that they can handle all of life's challenges, all of them, even your own death. I know it sounds a little heavy, but so the challenge for the Chinese population is, of course, the culture and the practices of the culture and doing it a certain way. And then how do you feel about yourself if you haven't achieved that? And I'm here to tell you that this feeling of doing something for someone else, or to make someone else happy, or to have a sense that this will make my parents proud is not going to happen. It's not going to happen with anything that you do, but it is going to happen when your insides, when the inside is shifted, when your awareness is shifted, when your consciousness is shifted. The thing about children, which is so important, what a great question, Amanda, when it's so important, is that for myself, I want to be able to smile on my deathbed. I want to be able to smile. I want my son to be able to navigate through this world, regardless of what happens. So I would definitely be able to assist with that. There was a question from, I think there was a question from someone. I saw.
Shirley.
Okay,
Yeah.
what's the, yes.
If I don't have any happiness problem, do I need to get this class?
Oh, no happiness problem. Wow, that's so interesting. So that means you're never frustrated. You're never angry. You don't judge. You are peaceful with everything and the world. Yes. And if that's the case, I would say take it anyway, because you might learn something new. Of course, I'm a little biased. It's up to you. It's up to you. It's
Yeah.
you could take the class, maybe one, because I know some people left the meeting already. And see, that's another thing. Some people are leaving the meeting. Is that personal? Is it? No, for whatever reason, not interested, maybe have something else to do. It's okay. It's all right. Whatever is happening is supposed to happen. There's a trust. Okay, this is a question. For that person that just asked that question, whoever asked that question, this is my question to you. Do you ever worry about anything? Anything? Do you worry? If your answer is no, then you're doing pretty good. And if your answer is yes, then I can teach you how to ever worry ever again. And I can also teach you how to ever let go of heartbreak and let go of any kind of heartbreak and disappointment forever. Yes, another question. What's the question?
Okay.
When is the class starting and what time?
The class is starting in June, and we haven't, it's going to be in the evening. We haven't really had a date, a time for starting, but the class is going to start in June, first week, I believe, either a Wednesday or Thursday, but I'm going to have to leave, let Amanda.
Yeah, I think we plan to start the class from June the 2nd, which is a Wednesday. So every Wednesday starting from 5 p.m. Pacific time. And it's going to be a 50-minute class. It's going to last for 8 weeks. And the fees for the class will be total $80. Yeah, it's a very discounted rate, offered by Rebecca. We appreciate that. And I think, definitely I'm going to join it, for sure. And even though, I feel I am pretty happy, so far, but I think I still need to learn and to improve, how to be happier, with the people around me, and the thing we did or we do not achieve, sometimes we just think, why can't we do that? Why this people is richer than me, and why this person is more successful than me, right?
Wow, now you're opening up a whole can of worms. And so now what is that? What is that definition of success? What is success? What is success? Is it really having a lot of money? Somebody has more than me? I mean, everybody, I don't know about anybody on the call, but I think Justin Bieber had more than all of us and not happy. So it's so interesting, the programming that we always receive of what is success. Well, success to me is being able to smile on my deathbed. That's it. Not about these man-made achievements. Tom Brady has 7 Super Bowls. He's still unsatisfied. Michael Jordan is still unsatisfied. He could have won more. So it's about a vibration, because we're all energy. It's about a vibration of feeling satisfied with the moment. Satisfied, not I need more to feel satisfied, because when you get more, it still doesn't more doesn't satisfy this. More things, more accomplishments doesn't satisfy this. This is the soul. The soul doesn't get satisfied from man-made things. So that's what I'm talking about. Nourishing the soul. Yes. Which is really who you are.
Wendy
Rebecca,
wanted
can
to
I
know
say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. Hi, thank you, Amanda. Yeah, this is Lucy Jen. I think I totally, I cannot agree more than what you say. And also I like what Amanda just said about happiness. And she mentioned, she indicate happier. I like that word because I think happiness is not yes, no question. It's a degree. It's like a more or less. So if you feel happy now, I want happier. And so this is my question. If a person has no worry, does that mean that that person has no care, nothing to care about? And if this question is no, does that mean that if we have something to worry and there's a way to eliminate the worry, we can work out no worry, to be no worry? Thank you. These are my question.
Yes. Wow. What a great question. And while you were talking, I didn't get your name, but while you were talking, my body just chilled up.
I'm sorry, my name is Lucy Jen. I have some skin issues, so I didn't open my video. Sorry about that. No problem. So thank you so much, Lucy. That was such a great question. My body was chilling up, and you're absolutely right. I can share with you how never to worry again. And all that is a practice. The reason why people worry is only one thing: lack of trust. And so what do? We practice trusting. And how do we do that? Attend the class. But
Wendy wanted to know the other 4 regrets, but I have a feeling you are going to share that in the class, right?
Oh, I can't. I can do that. I can share it, or I can share it now. It doesn't matter. Whatever you want me to tease and share the class, or you want to hear it now?
Yeah, let's wait a little bit. And we have another question from Shu. If she has a very difficult question to deal with, what can she do?
Well, she can join the class, and or she can contact me directly. But the thing with the class is the class becomes a little family, and but everybody isn't comfortable sharing, and everybody isn't comfortable sharing personal things, especially Chinese people. I know, because sometimes it's just so deep and we don't want to talk in front of people, and I totally get it. So the class, we can, the class and or one-on-one, either way, I'm open to both. But let me say this: know that whatever your problem, even if it's whatever it is and as serious it is, you are not alone. You are not alone. People have issues that nobody talks about. This class is about let's go, let's dig, let's get all the way in, let's dissect all of the issues. So once something is exposed to the light, you walk into a dark room, pitch black, dark room, and you turn on the light, the darkness leaves. So this class is really about turning on the light little by little by little, the light to the truth of really what's important in this life. What is important? Peace. It's not acquiring. Well, people think it's acquiring, and people do acquire, people do get, people do chase and achieve, and that's good, but it doesn't make you happy. That's all I'm saying. It's different. It's an achievement, but it has nothing to do with this internal happiness. I hope you know.
Great way to end this preview. We really appreciate that. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. And thank you for the questions. And hopefully whoever would like to join or interested, and I'm going to say this too, there's nothing that you have to do. It's only what you're inspired to do. So if this inspired you just a little bit, if you're curious, just because you join doesn't mean you have to stay. I've had a lot of people join the class and say, I gotta get out of here. So it's my gift to you. It's why I was put on this planet, and I'm just sharing what I've learned.
Thank you. Yeah, I before we let Rebecca leave, I really want to share with everybody. Actually, Rebecca, shared the idea to open this class with the group, with Happy 50 Plus, because she really, truly enjoyed teaching the classes with our group. She said, this is a fantastic group to teach, to entertain, to interact, and she loves us. And that's why she offered, let me try to share my wonderful class with your Happy 50 Plus group. And that's how it gets started. And one of the students, Mary, she also, Google Rebecca and check on your website, and she mentioned this class to me as well. So you never know what's going to happen next. So let's see, and we are going to make the enrollment website available pretty soon, and I will share with everybody, sign in with the preview today, and tomorrow we're going to have the chair aerobics with Rebecca. And so I'm going to, remind everybody to check on this again. And if any of you have any question with Rebecca, just talk to her. Yeah, she's very open-minded. She has a big heart. She can take whatever you say.
Amanda, this is Lucy again. Would you mind if I can have one more quick question for Rebecca?
No problem.
Regarding the class? Okay, thank you. So Rebecca, this may sound silly to you and everyone here. Are you going to touch on a little bit about Bill Gates' marriage in your class? Because I think, they are looking for self-actualization. Can you hear me?
No, I didn't hear what you touch on. What?
Bill and Melinda Gates just got divorced.
Oh,
are you going to touch on some issue about this topic in your class? Because my understanding is that their marriage, both of their marriage is trying to pursue the self-actualization. It seems like that's their happiness, what they are seeking for. So I don't know if you have something to talk about that. Thank you.
Well, it's never a silly question, and thank you for at least giving me this opportunity to remember that. No, I do not do any topics. I don't do hypotheticals. I don't talk about what's in. If I talk about somebody, it's because of a lesson that we can learn from them. A lesson, but I'm not going to sit and try to dissect someone that I do not know, that have not talked to. But there are a lot of lessons. The lessons that number one, we never know what's going on with other people behind closed doors. That's number one, and that includes us. Number two, the other thing I don't do is I don't do hypotheticals. Your questions are how can I, how do I? How do I, how can I? Those are really the questions that the class will ask. How do I have more happiness? How do I be peaceful with my mother who's playing? How, all of it. So I don't do the pop culture thing. I don't.
Of course. Thank you. Thank you, Rebecca. And thank you, Amanda.
Thank you, Lucy.
Thank you, Lucy. Thank you for the question. I think that raised another good point about the relationship for 50 plus, right? A lot of, I'm going to say, it's not a hypothetical problem. It's there. People do have relationship issues with their, the other half and, down the road. And so I think that's a good point to talk about. Yeah.
And I'll tell you the biggest reason why people have problems in their relationship is not accepting the other person for who they are. Yes. They want the other person to be different. Mm-hmm. I want you to be different. I want you to change. Right. Yeah. So that's the real reason why we have problems in any relationship, is lack of acceptance of the other person. And most of the time, 100%, it's because lack of acceptance of self. The only reason why you don't accept someone else is because there's a lack of acceptance of self. Oh, we're going to get really deep. Don't be scared.
Yeah, believe me, it's really fun. Yeah, a lot of debate.
Well.
Okay, so Susan, before we let Rebecca go, anything you want to add before we wrap it up?
I just want to say this class is not for everybody. So be mentally prepared. If you're thinking it's a very fuzzy feeling kind of class, it's not. It's more like challenging yourself to get to where you want to go.
And and when I say fuzzy, I mean, listen, but it's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of humor, fun. Because my middle name is Fun, but Susan is absolutely right. It's looking in the mirror. So, I don't want to look. No, I want to blame them. It's not me. It's them. It's not me. It's them. No, it's you. So let's do something about it.
Okay.
Rebecca, sorry to interrupt. Yeah, thank you for your sharing. I want to know that you mentioned the one regret people mentioned. Do you mind just go like do really quick about the other 4 people mentioned?
Okay, Susan, I'm going to have to do this because it's my second request and I don't want it. Yes.
Sure.
So let me. Well, Bronnie Rare, you can Google it, Bronnie Rare, but the 5 most regrets. I wish I would have pursued dreams and aspirations and not let the life that others expected of me and not expect me. I wish I didn't work so hard. I wish I had the courage to express my feelings and speak my mind. I wish I had stayed in touch with my friends. I don't know about that one. And then I wish I would have let myself be happier. Those are the 5 regrets of the dying.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, guaranteed to have fun with Rebecca. I know I had a lot of fun. And, there was a lot of quiet people, like you said, but everybody opened up at the end. Yeah, it was really fun.
That's the goal. That's the goal. I think, Rebecca, it's perfect timing for Happy 50 Plus to offer this class because we successfully built community among our members, people who love to join the classes, the activities. And just like Susan said, maybe it's not, maybe not everybody ready for the class, but let's start with whoever they are ready first and then see how it goes. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much.